Hi guys, this is Randy from Rhandz Graphics After Effects tutorial. Before going into a more in-depth tutorial on motion graphics and animation in After Effects, I would like to share with you guys my After Effects settings that helps me save time and effort in doing my projects. So without further ado, let's jump inside After Effects. When you are a beginner in After Effects, or when you first open the After Effects, you can see this kind of workspace. So all you have to do is to just click if you want to change it to standard, just like what I did all the time. I just use this kind of workspace, and then all you have to do in order to optimize the After Effects software, you have to change some of the settings in your preferences. Go to edit, go to preferences, and first click the general, and you will see here that there are settings in here that you have to change. First, I will check the center anchor point in new shape layers. This function is very useful when you create a shape inside After Effects because the anchor point will automatically be at the center of your shape. And then I will check dynamic link with After Effects so that the After Effects, when you video render it, Adobe softwares or applications, you can do it inside After Effects. I will show you by clicking OK and importing a project file, for example this tutorial right here, and then I will add to Adobe Media Encoder queue, and automatically the Adobe Media Encoder will open. That's how it works in using dynamic link, because when you render your video you can use Adobe Media Encoder and it will automatically add in here. So all you have to do is just to check. You have to configure the setting on it. As you can see here, there is a dynamic link connection. So all we have to do is just to wait a bit. So now our video that would like to render is already here in Media Encoder. So all we have to do is to click here and configure everything here before you render it. If you are satisfied already, all you have to do is to click OK and it will render for you. I will just put it in here in the, just for the sake of this tutorial, I will just use the download folder and click OK and it will render it for you. That's the purpose of checking the dynamic link, so that you can link your Adobe After Effects to other Adobe software. After rendering this one, I will show you how to create a shape with the center anchor point. So for example, I will create a rectangle shape. You will see that the anchor point will automatically at the center of your shape. That's why I have to check it, because this is very useful for me. But it's up to you. You can uncheck it if you don't want to be the anchor at the center of your shape. All you have to do is just to use this pan behind tool and position your anchor point wherever you want. So now we will go back to After Effects, preferences, and continue to change some settings on it. And then if we will go to previews, I use a graphics card of GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. So I suggest that if you have a built-in graphics card, it is better for you to use a high-end graphics card in order for your video rendering so fast, more faster than just using your built-in graphics card in your desktop. Just like mine, I use GPU. I will show you. If you don't have a supported card in After Effects, you can see it in here by clicking the C drive. Go to Program Files and then go to Adobe After Effects 2020, because I'm using 2020. and go to ray trace. You can see here the allowed or supported GPU, but the GPU, the GeForce GTX 1050 Ti, is not supported, so I manually put it in there. In order to do that, I have to open it by copying it first and then go to my desktop and paste it and then open it up. And in order for me to identify the exact name of my graphics card, I have to use this one, GPU.z, to identify my graphics card. So this is the exact name of my graphics card. You have to put it in here too, the exact name, excluding the NVIDIA. All you have to do is just to type GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. If your graphics card is not here, all you have to do is just to manually put it in here so that it will be supported just like mine. So we are now here in GPU information. All you have to do is to probably change it to faster, or it's up to you. What is your preferences? For me, I want it faster. And now we will go to media cache. As you can see here, there's my maximum disk cache is size 120 gigabyte because I choose to make it bigger so that when I render my video, especially when I use lots of effects on it, it will not interfere with my video rendering. Because if you will just allocate small amount of storage, when you video render it, the After Effects will create a data in order for your video rendering be read by them. So they have to create a lot of data on it on the disk cache. If you have not allocated it very much with storage, it will interfere your video rendering and it will sometimes crash your computer and you will lose and go back again to rendering, and it takes a lot of time. So I suggest that you will allocate your disk cache probably at least 80 gigabyte of storage so that every time you work in your project, it will not interfere when you video render. And then every time you finish video rendering and you are not using it anymore, I suggest you have to empty the disk cache all the time so that when you start another project, you are rest assured that your disk cache is empty. And you will also have, for improved performance, choose a disk cache folder on a fast hard drive or SSD separate from your footage, and don't put it in drive C, just put it probably at the external drive if you have, so that it will not affect your PC. And then every time you've done everything, clean the database and disk cache by clicking this one so that it's always clean. And we will go to autosave. As you can see here, the autosave default is 20 minutes. So every 20 minutes when you do your project, the Adobe After Effects will automatically save your project. So if you have a less capacity computer or a low-end computer, I would suggest to make it probably at least 5 minutes. Every time you do your project, it will be saved every 5 minutes. But for me, because my computer is 32 gig and I have a graphics card which is not really fast or not really high end but just enough, so I just use 20 minutes, or sometimes I just uncheck it so it won't save automatically. But I would rather recommend that you check this one to save it every minutes that you wanted to automatically save. So we will go to memory. As you can see here, the Adobe allocated 3 gigabytes RAM reserved for other applications. Why? Because Adobe always, all the time, are very greedy in RAM. So they eat or consume a lot of RAM when you render it. As you can see here, the 29 GB is allocated here to all my Adobe software, and the rest I allocated only 3 GB RAM. So be aware that every time when you render After Effects, it consumes a lot of RAM in your PC. So might as well allocate it a lot of RAM on it so it's faster to render. So now we will go to project settings. I will first create a new composition and I will click it OK and create a solid. Click it OK again. And I will go to my project setting to check whether I'm using my Mercury GPU acceleration coda, meaning you are using when you video render, you are using your graphics card, which is your GPU. If you have no GPU, it will appear here OpenCL or Mercury software only. So I would rather suggest that if you don't have a GPU, you just choose either Mercury software only or the OpenCL, because when you manually put it in your After Effects supported card, it will appear here OpenCL, so you can choose it to make it faster than Mercury software only. Okay, so I hope guys that you will learn something from this tutorial. And my thoughts for today's tutorial is that just do it and you will have it. Thanks for watching guys, and God bless.